Hello, fellas and ladies. It is time for some Big Jim, because it's time to review the next film in the biggest franchise ever, Avatar: Fire and Ash, directed by Canadian sweetheart James Cameron. Does anybody even care about Avatar? Does he even have like a cultural footprint? Can anyone even name a character from Avatar? I mean, it's gonna make $2 billion in a heartbeat. It has a cultural footprint. I don't care. Maybe untraditionally, but it exists in the culture. You literally say blue people around anyone and they'll go, oh, like Avatar. That's culture. Avatar: Fire and Ash follows up right after The Way of Water. Jake Sully and his family are mourning the loss of one of their sons and are wondering what to do with the human spider who poses a threat to them, all whilst coming into conflict with a clan of savages who love fire. And also, Quaritch is there again. He's back and he's still really mean. So, like I alluded to, there's a weird thing with Avatar in culture. It's such a weird phenomenon that, like, these movies come out and they're events, like, instantly. Like, both films made $2 billion. Like, that is unheard of. Literally, no other franchise has done that. The Avengers Endgame and Infinity War are, like, the only exception, but, like, that comes with an obvious asterisk. Those films are, like, culminating, like, 10 years of storytelling. There are only 2 Avatars, and they're completely original. And I do love that we do have these films that are, like, kind of like Star Wars in a way. It's this own mythology and like this new world that all came from James Cameron's head. And at the same time, it also comes with a little bit of a weird diction, because these are 2 of the biggest movies ever, and Avatar literally is the highest grossing movie in history. People can get a little hostile about it. Like, I feel like after like when Endgame was coming out and it was like, oh, it could have beaten it. It's like, does Avatar even matter in culture? And because of that, people had this claim when Way of Water came out, where it was like a retread of the first one, and I'm baffled by that. The Way of Water to me is a very wonderful next chapter in this universe, this Pandora world with Jake Sully. I'm not saying it was flawless, but it's like we got a new glimpse of this world and how they do things and like the rituals and all that, and we got some new character stuff to work with. I'm not saying it all works, but at the very least it tried to, like, respond to the criticism of the first film. This one kind of justifies those criticisms a little bit. This is very much a feature-length epilogue to The Way of Water. We're just sticking in the like water place from The Way of Water. We're in the same place we were in the first one. It kind of ends in the same place. We kind of venture out a little bit, but there's not much new. A lot of the world building in this movie is very slight. Like, we kind of get a glimpse of this like wind clan, but it literally is just there to show that they exist. We don't get anything about them. In the Fire Clan, there's like a little bit, but all we learn about them is that they're savages. I'm getting ahead of myself here a little bit, but like, one thing about Avatar that you can definitely get out of it is, like, holy crap, these movies are amazing to look at. Just from a visual perspective, this movie is kind of, like, breathtaking. I don't think it quite, like, hits a milestone like The Way of Water did with the water effects, but it's still, like, just incredible to look at. I think we're really lucky to have these films on the big screen. Again, I think there's some hostility towards these films, but the fact that we get to watch these things on the fucking big screen is credible. On a glorious IMAX 3D. I'm not a 3D guy, but I will do it for the Avatar films exclusively. Like, the character designs are amazing. I love the water effects. I just love it so much. It's so beautiful. A lot of the world, like, the landscapes are just gorgeous. The action works. I thought the action was fantastic. There's a lot of set pieces that I loved. Being in Pandora is just such a treat. It is truly, again, Cameron is, like, aside from Denis Villeneuve, who is adapting something, Cameron is, like, building a new world unlike anyone else in the game right now. But yeah, a lot of this is just The Way of Water. We're retreading a lot of familiar ground. Like I said, the world building isn't there, and I would say there's very minimal character growth. A lot of this movie is built around Spider, which I know everyone's excited to hear that, but it works. I don't hate Spider like everyone else does. A lot of them is them figuring out what to do with Spider. It does come with some interesting quandaries, but I don't know, for the most part, it's like Neytiri has a little bit of an arc, but it's not really there. Jake Sully has a little bit of an arc, but not really. The Sigourney Weaver child thing, I don't know what that's about. The new characters that they add, which is like Una Chaplin's character, who I actually do think is a really lovely addition, a really much a standout as Varang. The Fire Lady, she's just kind of evil, and she likes guns. What is she, a U.S. Senator? Haha. Yo, politics. But yeah, anyway, she's just like a bad person. She's just like evil, and that's her shtick. I just didn't think anything about this character was interesting. I think some of the things that she does is like entertaining and wild to watch, but it's just. And then Quaritch is just, again, a bad guy. There's like moments of like interesting, like, this is like his relationship with Spider and his almost respect for Jake Sully. It's like, okay, you're getting somewhere, and then it's like, nah, I'm evil again. Time to kill all the blue guys. It's just a big bad military guy. And it just, I feel like that stuff isn't really doing anything new here. A lot of what that is explored here is explored in Way of Water, like the relationship with Jake Sully and his son that he just hates. The movie itself seems to kind of go in circles a little bit. Like, it's like, oh, we gotta go deal with this thing with Spider. Oh no, it's Quaritch. Okay, we escape Quaritch now. And then just like, oh, what are we gonna do if Quaritch comes back? We gotta do something about Spider, and then the cycle continues. And again, if you're there for a spectacle, you got it. Like, you got it in like the most glorious way, except for the fact that the third act is it's the same thing as the Way of Water. It really is the Way of Water again, in terms of like how the final set piece goes. Again, I'm down to watch it, but this movie's 3 hours, and I just feel like, what did we accomplish? Maybe it's because of the gap between this and Way of Water. It's like a 3-year gap, whereas like the gap between the Way of Water and the first Avatar was like 13 years, and it's like, yeah, I don't want an Avatar movie every year. It kind of lessens the impact. When you go back to Pandora, it's supposed to be like a holy shit level event. And in many ways it is, but I think when I watched The Way of Water for the first time, I was like, I can't not believe that we're here. But this one is like, all right, if you're gonna take us back, let's explore a little more. And it just kind of didn't. This movie's 3 hours long, and to me it zoomed by because, again, I just love being on Pandora. But it didn't justify its length. And again, like, if you're not a fan of Avatar, you're not gonna like this one, and it just kind of retreads a lot, and that just kind of is unfortunate because, like, I know that James Cameron wanted to make this in the first one movie, and I'm kind of lost as to how, unless he like really spread this thin. Avatar: Fire and Ash is a stunning feat of visual effects once again, and taking a trip to Pandora is something worthwhile no matter what. But at 3 hours, this next installment retreads too much of the same stuff to fully justify the length, and feels too much like another Avatar instead of a fulfilling next step. I'll be there for James Cameron and his next Avatar no matter what, but I'm giving Avatar: Fire and Ash 6.5 blue guys out of 10. Alright, that's what I got. Whatever. Let's grab and share. Bye-bye.